So Zach,
Yes.
can you
Caught me.
can you tell me what it is you're working on and a little bit about it, and maybe how long you've been working on it, and anything you'd like to say about it?
Yes. Let's see. At current, the story of the Buddha sitting in a garden and meditating near a tree comes to mind. And I only recently realized, I think part of that message is in the tapestry, and it has started to reveal itself to me. The idea of, there was an old story of the Buddha meditating in a garden, and then a deity came to him to question him and converse with him, and to question the Buddha to see if he was fully enlightened. He said, he asked a question sort of in riddle, and said,
Can you point out the deity?
right here, and then
That's
I can
the
do
deity.
that.
Mm-hmm.
So comes and questions the Buddha and says, humanity is tangled in a tangle. I asked of Gautama the Buddha, what is the tangle and how does one disentangle oneself? And then the Buddha says to the deity, understanding the question fully, he says, the tangle is like a bamboo thicket, and I'm working on bamboo here. It goes on arising again and again, and the old bamboo roots tangle the new bamboo roots. And this is how humanity continues to, every individual, we continue to crave things and have aversion toward things. So we push different directions and tangle ourselves in like and dislike, which is also an extension of the self. So the Buddha says, the tangle is like a bamboo thicket, and to untangle oneself, one needs sila, samadhi, and panya, which are Pali words for morality or virtue, concentration, focusing on the breathing, and then wisdom. And that helps somebody to disentangle themselves. So this is kind of it has some of that energy, and then I feel as though it's sort of the path to liberation or purification in all its various forms. Everybody has their own path, set into a tapestry. And I began, not knowing it was going to be this big, I began with a tiny rose right here.
So could you turn off your light?
Yeah.
This is actually, it's better. Come here and look at this, just so you know. It's
Oh,
pretty,
wow.
it's
Wow.
pretty good. So we don't need your light.
Okay.
I don't
Okay,
even
great.
know why it's so illuminated, but
Wow.
show me what you were just showing me.
Yeah.
The
So
rose.
it began with the rose right here. And wow, yeah, it's and then I thought, oh, I like that rose, I'll do a dog. So then I did this dog up here. And then I thought, well, I'll set them in a garden. And the dog's just kind of floating in the stars, really. And then the garden expands. There's a butterfly, two little birds here. And I made a little tree, and I fell in love with everything about it. The feeling of the thread, the color.
How big was the tapestry at that point? I mean, the fabric. How wide and
It was,
large
yeah, I'll show you exactly.
was
It
the fabric? Show me point it out on the tapestry itself, approximately how big.
It was as big as this clay circle right
That's
here.
how big it was to
That was
begin
it,
with.
yeah.
Wow.
And then I sewed this onto a piece of fabric. So you can see it's very thick, and then the back of it has totally disappeared because I've covered it up with many other layers. So I sewed it onto a bigger piece that was about this
So
big.
it's almost, I'm feeling, it's almost like a quarter or a half an inch thick, it seems,
Yeah,
right there. Yeah.
yeah.
All this.
Yeah, and then in various stages, it's been expanding. A face has come in over here, which I feel is like one of the guiding helpers or something kind of being channeled. She's very, very calm but very powerful, and is like a female helper, like a plant or earth helper. And then throughout the piece, there are different stages of the path. So we are all on our own spiritual path. Here's staircases going into maybe a fissure between the tree and then maybe a stone, or maybe it's an old tree, and this is the symbol of the old way of things is dying, and now we're moving into a new blossoming of the planet, kind of like the hands of a clock moving, and we're striking the time of reawakening. So this is like the clock hands, kind of. And then if we look at it peacefully, the past isn't bad or good, it's just what the old comes from. So you still have water running over the old. There's some mushrooms that are turning the old into the new. And then of course we have the stars I'm working on, which will take quite a while, because I'm I'll be putting in galaxies. There's a galaxy over here. And then visitors from other galaxies, and how, in an artistic way, we can show how it's possible to go faster than the speed of light. So we have a something quite quick that is not quite understandable, but has some type of energy. This is a tree that represents Jaya's energy. She sowed this little rose here, this little flower. So I'm turning it into another rose, a little bit bigger. And then this is going to become a tree house, kind of our safety area, our home, or the energy of it. And this will be a giant full moon, one of the maybe larger.
So that would be like white thread?
I think it might be, we'll see, it'll be yellow, maybe a little purple. It may be a glimmering rainbow moon, but it's going to look very striking because it will be following the contour of the moon's face. So what we know to be the moon. This I was sewing when Thich Nhat Hanh died, the monk Thich Nhat Hanh. So I was watching his funeral rites being read on a live stream, and I was sewing this. And I began sewing this a week before he died, or a little longer. And then as the funeral was going on, they read a poem called the Dandelion Poem, which I had already sewn these dandelions.
Did you know he was going to die?
No. And down here I've begun the Dalai Lama. So this will be him. And then this is actually the Hebrew for Jesus, or Jeshua. This is the red letters are the Hebrew. So I thought it was good to put that energy together. Jesus.
And there's some writing to the left of that as well.
And then this is the artist name I was using was Nuestro on a couple pieces I did. Nyanamoli is the name of the monk who lived before, and he translated a text called the Visuddhimagga, and I feel a strong kinship with him, so I put the two names together, Nuestro and Nyanamoli. And this Nuestro means ours, and Nyanamoli means the highest wisdom. So I guess it together would mean our highest wisdom.
And what is going on up in the right corner?
I feel like I'll grab a chair. That's quite tall.
Because I like the blue and the.
Yeah.
It
So
looks
this
a
is,
little different from some of the others.
and it's about 11 feet taller. So I'm on a chair. I can't touch the top. So this I feel is energy coming from a star or that's very far away, maybe even in another galaxy, maybe even the center of that galaxy. And just like we can emanate TV signal or radio signal, this star is emanating good energy, good vibrations, and we are picking it up. Not so much we, but the plants and the trees are. So in the same way that trees can communicate with pheromones across a short distance, there may be energies that are so subtle to us we don't understand them, but they move across the cosmos, because clearly the light does. So this is the good energy from a faraway star that sees that there's an imbalance on the planet somewhat, and so it's sending wonderful good energy, which comes in and helps the planet to awaken, and then some of it hangs out in ways that we don't understand. So this would be one of those beings or energies maybe in the night sky as like a spinning area of energy. So I'm still working on this. Some may look very much like stars. Some may look like angels. This is the beginning of an angel.
And what's going on in the very right-hand corner?
This is what our section of the galaxy looks like with different eyes. So it's like a desert. It's like a star desert. So in the middle of the galaxy, it's very thick with stars. And as we get further from the middle of the galaxy, where we are, the stars that surround us is like a desert. And so the Earth is like an oasis. And this, using this blue color, I will kind of fractalize the sky here, so it looks as though you're coming through a sky desert. And that's
And
kind
so,
of hard to.
so how long do you think it's going to take to continue to? Do you see a finishing at this?
Well, I'll show. I have an easy way to give. If you want to pause it for a second, or you can keep it going. I can give you an answer in a visual. Thanks to Mom. So, and I'll use. So this is thread, embroidery thread that I'm using. And I used to use a small bundle like this. Now I'm using a big roll. This will take me 30 minutes to put in, and I've done thousands of these. How do you say them, Mom? Skeins. And now I'll be working with almost pounds of thread. I think I have about 4 more years before I finish it. And what I have seen kind of in dreams, is that it's supposed to be long or wider on this side, so you can imagine it coming out like this. So at this level, a panel here like this, and then another one above it and another one below it on each side, and mostly it will be stars to really give you the feeling of looking at the night sky, and it might even curve around just a little bit to almost encapsulate you, so your periphery is obscured and all you see is the color and then the darkness of the night sky.
So are there any final comments you want to make about this piece?
May it bring peace to many people.
Thank you.